Right, well, I'm going to begin by asking, I mean, you're playing a very intelligent character, sorry, and I mean, I'm not for one moment suggesting you're not as intelligent in real life, but did you
Please suggest.
Did you have to do quite a lot of research just to kind of learn the whole lingo and just try and adapt to the role?
A lot of reading, a lot of talking to Brad. Yes, I'm not as techie as she is. I don't understand the way it works, like the technological things and science, all of that stuff. I know like the general education because I obviously went to school, but when it comes to the advanced stuff, it's like all over my head.
When it comes to kind of connecting to the human in the role of Casey, is that kind of harder to do when in a film this kind of grandiose and sci-fi like, or are you still able to strip it of its kind of environment and still just see the human being within?
Yes, it's a good question. It's a really good question because it can be tricky because you want to play to the film. You want to experience all the things that the audience is experiencing and acknowledge those things. But at the same time, you want to be a person and a human being, and you want to have like real reactions. So there was a balance, because you have to. My character sort of represents the audience in so many scenes. So you have to play to that, and then you also have to create her as someone who is likable and enjoyable to watch and real.
In regards to working with Brad, I mean, he comes from an animation background where anything is possible. He can kind of, any vision he has, he can put onto the screen.
Create.
I was just wondering, is that an attitude he brings to live action? If so, that must be such a kind of fulfilling, collaborative experience to work with him.
Oh yeah, he's exactly. I mean, I didn't work with him on his animated films, but I assume it's very similar to how he interacts with actors on set. Because he's very specific and he knows exactly what he wants, and he communicates that so well. So you're always very well aware of what he wants and trying to make his dream, come alive.
I'm sure no one's asked you today yet about working with George Clooney, so I thought I'd be the first.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, when you work with someone of that sort of standing, you always kind of imagine in your head they might be quite sort of standoffish. But it sounds like he's one of the most accessible, easy to get on with guys.
He is, yeah. I mean, it's funny because when I first started thinking about working with George, and I was, nervous and excited and not sure what to expect. I also, took it into consideration that I'm just like, at the time I was like a 24-year-old girl and Rafi's like, 11, 12. And I sort of thought, he's going to have no way of relating to us. Like, how in the world is he going to be around us all the time and feel engaged at all in conversation? But he was so great and so considerate of us and always letting us feel involved and encouraging us to talk or be interactive, and he's very fun.
He's also got a bit of a reputation for pulling pranks on
He
set,
does.
and I was wondering if there were any in this project that stand out.
No, there's been no pranks thus far, but I'm still a little worried for my future. My future 2 weeks that are coming up.
I was wondering, obviously this is based around the sort of the area of Disneyland, Tomorrowland. I was wondering if you've ever been to Disneyland, and if so, what's your favourite attraction?
Yes, I've been to Disneyland. We were actually at Disneyland for the premiere of this movie.
Oh, cool.
And they shut down the whole Tomorrowland part of the park for us. And I think I went on Space Mountain like 6 times, so I would recommend it.
Nice. Did you go on that one that kind of goes around the mountain with the...
Oh, is that Thunder Mountain? Wait,
no,
Thunder Road?
and then there's like a sort of abominable snowman or something.
Oh, like Mount Everest or something?
One, yeah.
No, I've been to the one in Disney World, which actually, in Disney World, that ride exists in Animal Kingdom, but I have been on it.
Yeah, it really hurt my head. If you could touch a pin and be transported anywhere, where would you most like to go?
Today? Where would I, right now?
Right now.
Probably my bed. in LA. Yeah.
And I was wondering, because I mean, when I was growing up, I always liked the idea of being an astronaut. That was obviously something that I thought would be really fun. It turns out I'm not, obviously.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You could do it.
I could, yeah.
But you don't want to now.
No, I prefer this now.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you always wanted to be an actress. Was that something that you wanted to do from a really, really young age?
It's sort of. I mean, I remember being young and wanting to do theater, wanting to do plays. I would entertain my family and friends all the time, but I never really identified it as being like, I want to be an actor until much later in life. Well, not much later, like 13, 14.
Next up, we can see you in Cook alongside Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
What's he like to collaborate with? I mean, he hasn't done a sort of live action movie for a few years, so we're really excited about seeing him back on the screen.
He's so great, and he's really incredible in the movie, and he was so fun to work with. I really enjoyed playing opposite of him because he's a very lively actor, and he's always doing something different, so you can always just react to whatever he's giving you, and I think he's going to be really great in the movie.
But the next film that's actually been released that you're in the UK is The Longest Ride, which comes out in sort of a month's time. I mean, Nicholas Sparks films always have a very certain tone and very certain atmosphere to them that's quite sort of distinctive. Is that the case for shooting a Nicholas Sparks movie? Does it feel quite different?
Cheesy? No, I'm kidding. I didn't say it. You did. No, it doesn't. When you're shooting it, I mean, working with George Tillman Jr., who was the director on the film, he was very conscious of sort of creating a new type of feel, but still giving audiences, the whole point of going to see a Nicholas Sparks film. We still wanted to give them all the love and romance and life. So we were very conscious of that. But it didn't feel like a Nick Sparks movie when we were shooting it. It just sort of felt like we were playing two characters and it was a Nick Sparks story,
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time today. Much
appreciated. Thank you very much. Great interview.
Thank you.
Well done.
Cheers.
That's so great. I thought it was going to be a disaster.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You